It's Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe your bracket for March Madness has been busted. Maybe if you're like me in New York, you saw so much rain, it almost felt like a movie. Maybe if you're in other parts of the country, you got snow, you thought you were getting blizzards, but well, you still got something, but it wasn't what they thought it was. But whatever else you're doing, stop it. Because tonight, we have an honor to speak with somebody that you can say is maybe a two-time talent or a two-tool talent. Maybe that's a better term, ladies and gentlemen, because not only is he the reigning, defending, legendary backyard wrestling United States champion, he is also the host of LBYW Backstage, where you get the inside scoop on all your favorite legendary backyard wrestling stars. He's also even recently opened up tons of WWE cards that he found at a garage sale. We'll talk about that and his own journey and his unique story with legendary backyard wrestling as they're getting ready for another season that's about to start in a few weeks. They're getting ready for Golden Ticket, and he's got a Golden Ticket. And he's also going to maybe respond to a couple of different things because our most recent guest from legendary backyard wrestling and the one and only Napalm, who's technically still undefeated because he hasn't been pinned or forced to submit, could actually be an opponent of his. We'll talk about that, plus anything he wants to, his journey, the success of legendary backyard wrestling, plus who knows whatever else you want to talk about, because all wrestling matters always on Sportzwire Radio. I could go on and on and on about our guest, especially to the fact that his father's already been on here, not once but twice, and he's technically the man that's retired his father, and that's how he took that United States Championship. So considering that so many from LBYW have gotten that introduction, such as the likes of the Alpha, CJ Junt, the Wilster, who could ever forget the Wilster? Tonight, Chris Aruda, Backyard Wrestling Nexus Hall of Famer, who also had a day named after him on Sportswire Radio, and our most recent guest, who also had a day named after him, Napalm. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to get all the semantics out of the way and give our champ the introduction that he deserves, because so many people around the world are watching, and it's Saturday night. We're in prime time, so let's get right to it, because I want to get to it most importantly. So with without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show, the host of LBYW Backstage, and the reigning, defending United States champion. His name is all full of hellfire and brimstone. He is the champ is here. How are you?
Hey, guys.
Sorry,
what was that? Good. How are you?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Good to be with you, champ. Obviously, it's Saturday night. We're in prime time on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And obviously, you are the champion. There's a lot to talk about, and certainly it's a tremendous honor. So for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, Ragnarok, you are the reigning, defending United States champion. And you are very well going to be defending that championship real soon. And you're going to find out who your opponent is going to be upcoming at BYWN Unity. It could be either Gyro or the man that was most recently on Sportswire Radio, a man that has not been pinned or forced to submit in his career still in Napalm? So for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, what is your thoughts in PYWN Unity in terms of who you would like to face in either Gyro or Napalm?
I mean, they're both very good wrestlers, and I faced both of them multiple times, especially Gyro. He's been here for a while.
Yep.
So, I mean, I wouldn't mind either of them, honestly, but I'm not quite sure who I'm going against. So we'll just have to see.
Well, let's go with this. I mean, you've obviously maybe have faced Gyro more in the ring than Napalm. Napalm is obviously the only man that has forced the Alpha CJ Junt to have tapped out in his decorated career, certainly in LBYW. So from those vantage points, I mean, who would you feel more confident, or let's say your skills would match up with more, Gyro or Napalm, who, as I stated, is the only man to have made the Alpha CJ Junt have tapped out?
That is a good question, because they both have very different sets of skills. So it's kind of hard to weigh which one would be better. But that is an impressive feat by Napalm to make CJ the Alpha Junt tap like that.
That's certainly big on anybody's resume. But let me ask you then, maybe is it fair for me to say, let's go with the pros and cons. The pros of going in the ring with Napalm is that he just wrestled, and he just wrestled a really intense match where he actually came up shorted. So maybe the pros of facing Napalm is you got him right where you want him. He just had an intense match that he's still probably licking his wounds from. The cons of that could be that he's certainly going to want to, if he defeats Gyro, is going to want to certainly bring back another championship to his career. So you've got one side of it with Napalm. Then you've got Gyro, who's always looking for something to prove himself. And he beats Napalm, who we just spoke about, who actually, he would be the first person to have actually forced him to have either submitted or pinned. He would have all the momentum in the world. So based on some of those factors, what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I'd say it's pretty cheap to go against someone who's licking their wounds personally. Like, it would make it a little too easy of a match, in my opinion.
Really? Really? Too easy. Too easy.
Yeah. Because, like, he's really good.
But, listen, like, we watched the match live. We actually watched the last
I actually saw that video earlier. But like I said, like even the best wrestlers, when they're knocked down and they're tired and they just got out of a big three-way match like that, like it sure takes a lot out of a man. So I'm sure it would knock him down a few pegs.
Well, you've been in that spot. You've certainly had your peaks and valleys in your career at LBYW. You've probably had a lot more valleys than peaks, even though right now you're on cloud nine. You're on top of the world. You got the U.S. title. But from those vantage points, I mean, you can't sleep on Napalm, but Gyro's a man you probably know a little more. So you're saying maybe based off what you just said about Napalm, and I will get to comments in a second, that maybe you rather want Gyro?
Well, it would be more of a fair match because Napalm could go and relax and set up for his next match while Gyro's pumped up and ready to go. So I don't know. I'd say it'd be more of a fair match with Gyro than taking advantage of Napalm's situation.
That's interesting you say that, though, because again, Napalm's track record speaks for itself. Some would say, wouldn't you want to face the best? And I mean, I wonder what the dog thinks even.
He's more interested on whatever's outside.
What's your dog's name?
This is JJ.
JJ. Well, maybe JJ has an opinion. What do you think JJ thinks?
JJ.
We're gonna bring JJ live on Sportswire. We might actually get the animal crowd. Maybe we'll get more animal subscribers on Sportswire. Yeah. So what do you think, JJ? So JJ, for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, who do you want to see? Your owner, your dear old daddy there, Mr. Ragnarok himself. Who do you want to see him face off with? Napalm or Gyro?
He does not care. He ain't got no cares in the world other than the loving he's getting.
Well, you know what? I mean, certainly, each to its own, and we all wish we could be in that same spot. But obviously, again, what I'm wondering this, and you can tell me what your thoughts, because obviously you're live on Sportswire Radio. It's the first time we're getting a chance to speak with you. Obviously, we've been following LBYW coming up here for just about 9 or 10 months. We've had on different guys in the locker room. And how excited are you to start the season here with golden ticket coming up here, which will start, I believe, sometime in the middle of next month. So how excited are you for the season to start?
Very excited. It's always a joy to be doing this because we started this just because we enjoy wrestling. So it's always exciting to start the season back up and get back in it.
Now, Napalm spoke a little bit about this on the show when he was here about 10 or 11 days ago. And he talked about that this is the last full season for you guys at LBYW, which is hard to fathom because I feel like you guys are just getting started. Does that for you make it emotional or reflective in any way? Because I feel like in a lot of ways, you guys are just getting started.
Yeah, it certainly sucks, but life calls. Everybody has jobs, and CJ the Alpha has his own family now. So even though it's a family based or business, we always have the children there, he still wants to spend more time with them. So it's difficult, but we aren't going away.
No,
we just won't be here as often.
I think basically what Napalm was saying, the company's not going out of business, and definitely shouldn't, because the fans seem to love you guys. When I first, I think, got in touch with you guys had just broke 1,000 subscribers, and now we're closing in on 1,400. So that tells you guys are doing a great job. But I think we're going to see more of, let's say, attraction-based shows. So we're still going to be around, but knowing that this is the last full season, does that maybe motivate you? I'd ask that question to Napalm. I'm curious for you, champ. You're the U.S. champion. How does that motivate you at all, knowing that this is kind of the last full season?
Oh, for sure. Because you got to show off. Because, we're not leaving, but with it being the last full season, not going to be around as much, you got to show off your skills and show this is why I was here. This is my footprint in LBYW, and this is what I'm leaving.
For sure, no question about that. And if you'd like to follow Legendary Backyard Wrestling, I've put up actually all the ways you can. Instagram, Threads, and YouTube, ND_backyard_wrestling. And let me get to some family comments before I actually ask you some more questions. I think I know who this is because he's been on here not once but twice, and he's in the Backyard Wrestling Nexus Hall of Fame. We are talking about none other than the one and only, now retired, but general manager of LBYW, Chris Aruda. That belt looked better on me. What's up, brother? He was a 5-time U.S. champ after all. Do you want to say anything to your father, your dear old dad?
Oh, it might have looked better at the moment, but that was forever ago.
It wasn't that long ago. I mean, the last time he held the title, technically, in the Best of 5 series, it was what, 5 months ago? I wouldn't say about 5 months ago, maybe 5.5 months ago. It's not that long ago.
It fell quickly out of fat on him, so.
Well, you know what? You can get away with that. I would not be able to. I think I know who this is. This would be Mom. So we say hello to Mom. We hope that she's doing well. We thank her for her support. In fact, she was refereeing some of your matches there with your dear old dad. So hope you're doing well. And we were talking off the air, and you guys didn't get a blizzard, thank God. So although maybe do you guys like the blizzards? I mean, you guys up there in North Dakota, it's so different here in New York. We got it felt like a Godzilla amount of rain we had this weekend here through yesterday into today. But you guys, it's probably more snow than anything else. But do you guys like when you get blizzards? I mean, what do you say to all that?
No.
No?
You get trapped in your house, not being able to go anywhere because your car's unable to move. So, and then jobs call, so you have to figure out how to get to work still. So yeah, no, blizzards aren't very fun.
Okay, fair enough. I would have figured you guys would have had a will and a way to get through it, but then again, that is true. You'd be trapped in your house. And I will say today we had like between yesterday and today, like 2.5 inches of rain in New York, and I was kind of pretty much trapped in my house up until about 7 o'clock when it stopped raining, and I kind of felt the same way as you did. But speaking of people that are here, our last guest from LBYW, the American badass, Napalm himself. Anything you want to say to Napalm? Anything that could be to maybe your will or way that you may want to have if he's your next opponent? Because Gyro could still very well be your next opponent. But anything you want to say to the American Badass?
Nothing that I didn't already say. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't want to take advantage of your situation. So you're nice and worn out from taking on two other guys at the same time. So
Well,
not to,
it
not
could
to
have
get
been
too
you.
cocky.
Okay, all right, not to get too cocky. Fair enough. Jesse James wants Raggy to beat Napalm into the ground. Well, I mean, you still may not get Napalm though. To be fair, you may get J-Ro. So I mean, you might be getting, hopefully, we'll find out sooner rather than later. Want to say hello to my buddy Mr. Ethan Sorensen. Ethan, want to give it up to him because he is almost on all of my streams. It doesn't matter if it's sports, it doesn't matter if it's wrestling, it doesn't matter if it's you guys at LBYW. He's always here. And how am I doing? I'm great. I'm live on prime time. If your bracket was bursted on for March Madness, you can stay here and hang out with us. If you were going to see Ghostbusters and you were disappointed, or you, like us, probably couldn't see it because of the weather, I say hello to you as well. And also an early Happy Palm Sunday for the Catholics out there. So it's a lot of things going on. That's why it's called March Madness this month. And we're officially in spring, but it seems like from where you are in North Dakota, where I am in New York, it doesn't feel like spring at all. But that's here. The same question. And management says blizzards suck even at Dairy Queen. I mean, I don't think Dairy Queen. Are you a Dairy Queen blizzard guy? I mean, I haven't had it often, but I don't mind a Dairy Queen blizzard.
Yeah, I don't go there every too often, but
It's
I
an
like
attraction thing for me. We actually, I have one about 20 minutes from my house, and it's an attraction. If I have it, it's like once in a blue moon.
Yeah, we have 2 or 3 here. Yeah, go there every now and then. I like their blizzards.
I do. I like the Oreo one, but again, I'm not going to have that. Today is March 23rd. I'm not in the mood for ice cream really until June, and that's when it's like warm. That's it. Now it's not the time yet. We are getting a blizzard tomorrow, though, up to 12 inches with high winds. So there you have it. So you are getting a blizzard, but not the Dairy Queen like blizzard. So if you have a car, I guess maybe get it out of the driveway. If you have to move it, I don't know, but hopefully your internet skills at Golden Ticket will maybe make up for the blizzard.
Yeah.
Well, Napalm would like to say, the American Badass would like to say, and what a pleasure it was to have him on. And we look forward to having more of the talent on during the season, because I'll have an announcement for our next LBY guest coming up in a little while. They are just wounds. Nothing I haven't seen or had before. Pain is only weakness exiting the body. What's your reaction to that there, champ?
Yeah, I mean, that's why the saying that what doesn't kill you make you stronger exists, I suppose.
True. Duly noted. I don't think anybody would argue with that. I got a good question from my buddy Ethan Sorensen. I'm going to let him ask you this question because I think you might have a thought or two on it. In your career, what's your most favorite match, or let's say if you had one or two moments that in your career stick out most? I'll go with basically what Ethan said, or if you want to phrase it in the way I asked it.
That's actually a good question because, I mean, I actually enjoy all the matches I'm in. Like some of them, yeah, they're rough, like a lot of the early ones, but I'd probably say this one's from a while ago, but probably the 4-way match between me, Just Ice, Gyro, and Pinball Aiden. I really enjoyed that match.
And we saw a lot of pinball, Aiden, at the last match, kind of the unofficial start to the season for Legendary Backyard Wrestling. So we saw a lot of that. I was curious. You mentioned Just Ice. What is your impressions? I should say, I'm tongue twisted there. What is your impressions on our world champion, Just Ice?
She's earned it. Like she's one of the best we have on the rosters, and she's definitely earned her way up to where she is right now. And it's a good thing she broke herself away from that group run by that loudmouth that doesn't stop talking.
Well, I'm actually in a Facebook group, and he was still talking. Actually, he was in the group and he was talking, and he was talking about a return to Sportswire Radio. Not quite yet from him, not so fast. To quote Lee Corso, he will be back, but in due time. So, I would say that Queen Just Ice breaking away from the Wilster, that played a huge role into her success. That has made her, I think, the best wrestler right now in LBYW.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was the best decision she could have made because the Wilster was just using her, and he wasn't using her very good.
What do you say though to the rest of the group? That seems to be. I mean, wouldn't you say eventually that the rest of the group that they'll face the same decision or see the light that Queen Just Ice is? Do you think that'll eventually happen?
That's a good question. With Nate Dogg, I mean, he joined the darkness just because of that was the best decision for him, even though it was a crappy decision in general. But I will say it's had the opposite effect from Just Ice, and it's actually helped boosted him in his career right now. And then with White Viper, I don't think so. I don't think. I mean, I can't really speak for White Viper, but I don't think it's best for him to be with the Wilster, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens when in the future.
Oh, we're gonna definitely see it. So then, with the season starting, how concerned are you though about PBS?
Huh?
How concerned are you with the season starting with PBS? They have grown in numbers since the season last was completed a few months back. I mean, with the season starting soon officially, how concerned are you? I know obviously you're worried about who wins between Napalm and Gyro, but when it comes to at the end of the day, PBS is still, a huge factor in things in LBYW. How concerned are you about them?
Not at all.
Not at all.
They're just a big group of bullies, and I've had my taste of that.
You have, but you've also know that they've got the numbers.
Yeah, I know, and the numbers beat me up.
That's why I brought it up.
They threw me into a garbage can, and luckily they didn't dump it on me. They just laid it on top of me. But I've had a taste of those numbers, and yeah, they got the numbers, but solo, no, I'm not worried about them.
Okay.
I can't say their boss can talk a big game, but that's really all it is all bark, no bite.
All right, I'm going to have an announcement in a second that sort of ties into PBS. But before I do that, I actually want to get to Napalm because Napalm has something to say, and I want to allow him to bring it up. Regardless of whatever happens at Unity, it will be an honor to face you in the ring again, and can't wait for what's going to happen at Unity. I'll be back for what I've never lost. And he's talking about the U.S. Championship, and that was something we spoke about here on Sportswire Radio when he was here a week and a half ago. So based on that, I mean, it is mutual respect, and Napalm seems like he's going to beat Gyro, and you're going to be the next person he faces after that. I mean, what's your opinion after that comment?
I mean, if it comes down to me facing him, it would be an honor to share the ring with him again. And yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. Because we have to see if you beat Gyro first, really.
And it's not going to be easy. There's no question that Gyro is going to be motivated. He's going to have a lot on his mind. He's going to have a lot to prove. And this is not going to be easy. And like you said, Napalm, after what we saw when it came to Pinball Aiden and Psychotic Freak, that, he certainly went through a lot, and he's still licking those wounds. And while Napalm and your mom may say that PBS sucks and PBS is trash, speaking of in a way that ties to PBS, well, it kind of maybe goes against PBS. I am going to have my announcement first before I get to management. Is that live here on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, 3 weeks from this Monday to make his debut on Sportswire Radio, none other than the Psychotic Freak. The Psychotic Freak is here. He's live. Figure 10 o'clock Eastern time, which I think would be 9 p.m. your time. He's going to be here live. He's going to talk about the season that's about to start. He's going to talk about PBS. He's going to talk about Napalm. He's going to talk whatever he wants to say. He's live on all Sportswire radio platforms, and it is going to be a real treat to speak with the Psychotic Freak. And something tells me, Ragnarok, that I have no doubt that the Wilster is going to be tuning into that one very intently, because especially we know that long-standing rivalry that the Wilster and the Freak have had. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be one, I promise you won't want to miss. So there you have it there, ladies and gentlemen. I know the world's going to be tuning into that one. Everyone's going to be kind of hungover from WrestleMania 40, what happens, what doesn't happen, but the Psychotic Freak speaks live. All things related to Golden Ticket, the season ahead, PBS, and his own career. A real treat on Sportswire Radio, and we want to thank, obviously, the Psychotic Freak for this opportunity. What an honor it is. PBS was our previous management's project. Should have been going with the modern management. What do you say on
that? Yeah, I can agree with that. Because when the Wilster was under management and he was running us, it was horrible.
I remember I had the Wilster here. We spoke about that when he was here, and
I bet he was gloating all about it and how wonderful it was. No. Don't let him lie to you.
He certainly did gloat about that, but also his Georgia Bulldogs, which really didn't have much to gloat about this season if you're a college football fan toward the end of it. So, yes, Ragnarok. The Wilster was definitely gloating a bit, but I have no doubt that he may not necessarily be gloating on April 15th when the Psychotic Freak is live on Sportswire Radio. And yeah, I mean, he's good luck with the interview. I think every interview I need luck with at this point, because some interviews they have their way of doing things, and other interviews have different ways of doing things. But yes, he is making an appearance, and I'm going to let Ethan ask you another question because it's a good one. And if you had to pick any person from any wrestling company to have a dream match, who would it be and why?
That's a good question because I'm not too familiar with a lot of other companies.
So it could be WWE, could be AEW. I mean, it doesn't have to be just the backyard. So it could be anybody you'd like to wrestle.
I think probably maybe Rey Mysterio. I really like Rey Mysterio. And it would definitely be cool.
A lot on Sportswire. I've been doing this for a long time, and whether it's British wrestlers that I have on, whether it's other yarders or other independent wrestlers, the name that people mention the most, believe it or not, is probably Rey Mysterio.
Nice. He's one of my favorites, always has been, right next to John Cena there.
I'm a John Cena fan. I mean, do you think John Cena's done in the ring, or do you think we see a little more of him?
I think we see a little more of him. I don't think I know he apologized to The Rock for what he was saying before he went Hollywood, but just because of that, I think he's going to stay a little longer. But I don't see him leaving too soon.
Yeah, I think that there's still unfinished business. I think Cena needs to win a match again because he hasn't won a match in years. I think that's also something else to keep an eye on. But Rey Mysterio, I mean, obviously we'll see what happens at WrestleMania with him, but just an extraordinary career. If you think about his career and his longevity now, I mean, he's been on either an ECW, WCW, or WWE pretty much almost consecutively for going on like 30 years. So, I mean, his run speaks for itself, and he still looks great. And he's, I think, the only wrestler I could think of in history that was inducted into the Hall of Fame that's still active. So that shows you really, his longevity. So that was a good answer, good question. And, speaking of that for a second, we'll come back to LBYW, but, you're a big wrestling card collector, and I could appreciate that because you guys not too long ago to kind of break the fourth wall. It was you, Mr. Junt, and your father, Mr. Aruda. Probably heard of him, right? Probably heard that name. You guys actually bought a whole bunch of trading cards, I guess,
Yeah.
different yard sales. And, what was that like? And, I mean, that was pretty cool to kind of watch you guys open up all those trading cards. I thought that was kind of fun. And that also somebody would even have just so many of those cards and just want to give them away.
So, like you said, we bought it from a garage sale. What actually happened is the person that they came from, he was having heart issues, so he was actually hospitalized.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He had his friends sell a bunch of his collection, from video games to cards to all that stuff,
Help raise money.
raise money and pay for his heart surgery. And he had a whole lot of WWE cards, and I had no idea about this garage sale, but CJ, he just texted me and he was like, yo, you gotta check this garage sale out. It has all these cool games and all that. And I was like, okay, where's it at? And he sent it to me and he was like, if you go there, make sure to get me this box of $10 wrestling cards. And I was like, okay. So me and Chris actually went there. For me, it was like a kid in a candy store, because I'm a collector myself, and there was so much cool stuff there. But we found the $10 box, and then the lady that was selling the stuff was like, well, we have a lot more than that. So we actually got one more and a half of a box plus UFC cards in there for only like 10 more, like a little over $10 more, I believe. I can't really remember. And yeah, I'm not too familiar with UFC, as you saw.
Yeah, I mean, I covered it during COVID. I watch it from time to time, but I can't say I'm a super UFC fan. Like, I know certain things. I did watch a lot of it during COVID, because UFC, and the dog would like to do UFC with you, obviously. Jesse James would like to probably have you in a UFC match right now, currently, because your dog probably wants you off the air, but we'll be with you for a little while longer. But yeah, UFC, I did cover it for a while. I appreciate it, but it's not my number one interest. But the wrestling was pretty cool to see with all those cards. Let me ask you though a question: did he get the surgery?
I actually am not too sure with that.
Okay,
I haven't seen any updates, but
okay. But that was fun though, that you got to open up all those cards and do it on YouTube. I myself actually collect trading cards. The last set I bought was a year and a half ago now. I bought the first AEW set through Upper Deck, and I actually did a live on my Facebook. This was right before the year ended in 2022. And I actually opened up all those cards on my Facebook. It's probably somewhere, and maybe I'll tag you in it if I desire to do it. But yeah, I always loved collecting cards. I still have the original WCW NWO Nitro set in almost mint condition. So I did love that. Any card that you opened up in the yard sale that was maybe the most memorable for you, and one that you really said, yeah, that's my interest?
Well, we got them for CJ, so it wasn't for myself, but there was a lot of cool cards in there.
Yeah, I saw you guys open up. There was a lot of stuff. I mean, you had
a lot of them. I think one of my favorites was that Undertaker Prism card.
Yeah,
it was like a silhouette of him. That card was awesome.
Yeah, I was like, that was a good one. Definitely. Yep, God.
But it was a lifelong collection from him. So he had stuff from like the 90s, later 80s and stuff. So I was hoping when we were opening these, if we would get some old wrestling cards with deceased wrestlers and stuff
or
like that.
A Roddy Piper, like a Scott Hall.
And we did get a few of them, but all the sets we got were newer ones. But I was thinking maybe even some band cards like Chris Benoit. But yeah,
you want to laugh? I actually still have a Chris Benoit shirt. I haven't worn it since he died, but I still have the shirt. Because
I mean, it's one of those things where I know it's difficult to do, but it's one of those things where you like Paul Heyman said, you got to separate the work from or the art from the
Chris
artist.
Jericho said the same thing. He did on his podcast years ago. He talked about the Chris Benoit thing, and as a in-ring performer, I mean, no question about it. But what he did outside the ring is absolutely, unfathomable, and deserves not to be in the Hall of Fame and really to be recognized in any way. But his in-ring work speaks for itself. But yeah, you know what? Maybe one day when I croak, you can have my card collection. I do have some good ones. I do have some old cards and collections that people would probably like to see. But I'll move away from that because your dad wants to say this. I'm working on PBS. Just got to have patience. If I could have one more match, it would be a triple threat, me versus the Alpha versus Napalm. I want to address this because you said that your dad has retired like 16 different times and comes back all the time. So I guess you were kind of right months ago if this is true, because I thought your dad was done. We had him on here about a month and a half ago, and it seemed to me as if your dad was finally done this time. We heard the speech. He's the general manager. He can't get involved. But now your dad, Chris Aruda, the general manager of Legendary Backyard Wrestling, wants to get another shot in the ring.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like I made that joke in our awards show. We're going to have an Undertaker on our hands and retire
you're going to have a Mick Foley, because Mick Foley is talking about doing one more match if he can get into shape, and he's 60, and really he retired the first time in 2000 against Triple H at No Way Out, and then he came back a month later, and then he came back so many times it was like he lost count. I mean, that's really what your dad is turning into. He's turning into Mick Foley.
Yeah, but I don't he's not going to be coming back. I mean, if he wishes to explain why he's not coming back, okay, well, there's that.
Well, he's about to say it, actually.
Yeah.
I'm done for good. I get my back surgery the second. It would have been nice to do that match.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he wanted to say that or not.
Well, he just did. I mean, we didn't have to say it on Sportswire Live, but I mean, it's how does that make you feel, though, actually, that he's getting the surgery? How does that make you feel?
I don't know.
Okay, no. Listen, I mean, I would just think that it makes you think. Does it make you think about what you put your body through at all?
Not really. I mean, throughout us filming, I've had a lot of hard hits to the head, and I never even really thought about it. And
so
yeah,
that's any injuries. Any injuries significant?
No.
Okay, so then you feel good then.
Well, yeah. The only time I've ever really had anything is a bloody nose in the ring one time.
Well, I'll actually tell you a funny story I've never told before. I actually, as a kid, I never really did. I kind of did backyard wrestling, but kind of didn't. And I got kicked in the nose by a kid, and my nose was like uncontrollably bleeding. And I up until probably I graduated college, I was always getting nose for like 10 or 11 years in a row. I would when the spring would hit, for whatever reason, because I never had problems with a nosebleed, but when I got kicked, it was oh my God, it was I don't know if I had a broken nose and didn't know it, but that's kind of my one sort of backyard wrestling story. But we didn't really do backyard wrestling to make sense, but that's all I've ever had really injury wise in a ring. But I've never really been in a ring. I don't even know what you count it. This is a different world, different time. We're talking more than 15 years ago plus. Jesus, I'm a festival ride. Everyone wants a piece of me. Let's have everyone ride the lightning. Well, I would say that with a catch and quote open-ended quote, because Mr. Aruda said afterwards he's done. So obviously he might wanted a piece of you, Napalm, the American. Yes, but even your Chris Aruda, your dad, Mr. Ragnarok, he knows his limits, and his limits is that he's done for good. But we wish him well for the surgery, and hopefully.
Now, another one here.
Who is the latest pet that you've brought to the show tonight? Who is this cat now?
This is Garfield.
Garfield, you look like a Garfield there. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What does Garfield think about you wrestling? Garfield seems like Garfield's more comfortable than Jesse James was on live because Garfield just wants to be petted. So you might have to cut the interview short because Garfield wants to play with you. But well, we have a little bit more time, so we'll actually try to get to the meat and potatoes here. But yes, say hello to your pets. Certainly, your pets are just as, if not more important than us humans here because they certainly do a lot of great things for us. But we are
As
here on.
long as he doesn't fart in my face, because he does that all the time and he stinks.
Well, you know what? Let's hope that Garfield doesn't fart, but certainly we are not trying to fart live on Sportswire Radio. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters, and we are here with the one and only Ragnarok. He is the U.S. champion of Legendary Backyard Wrestling. They are getting ready for their season to start sometime in the month of April. We're going to see before then BYN Unity 8. We're going to wind up seeing Gyro versus Napalm. The winner of that will be the next opponent for Ragnarok for that U.S. championship that he holds. And again, my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters here on Sportswire Radio. And if you like us here on all of our platforms, check us out via the Listen Live button on sportswireradio.org. Check us out on YouTube at Sportswire Radio 6579. Thank you to all of our recent subscribers. We're on Facebook at Sportswire Radio, and we have more coverage tomorrow night. 10 p.m. Eastern time to be inducted as our 57th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. The real deal, Anthony Steele. Yes, that real deal, Anthony Steele. Very, very well-known figure in the world of backyard wrestling. Some may like him, some may not, but certainly you can't deny his in-ring talent. It's one of the best, I think, to have ever stepped foot in a ring in backyard wrestling. He takes his place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Plus, I'm going to open up a couple of gifts, kind of like this one here. I've actually got not one, but two things to open up live tomorrow. So I'm going to open these things up. I have no idea what they are, but I'm going to do that tomorrow night because we are here with Ragnarok. And I know he's only got so much time because I can see the cat's with him and the cat wants his attention. LBYW, you can do that here on all their platforms. So I had to ask you then, because I realized I really have to speed up my question because I see the cat is to do some things to you. So how did kind of the origins from your vantage point of Legendary Backyard Wrestling begin on YouTube?
So that's an interesting question. So way back in like 3 years ago when we started the channel, we were just having a family get together, and me and my cousin Justice, or as you guys know her, Just Ice.
Yes.
We were best friends and we have been for our whole life. So we just got on the trampoline that CJ owned and we just started. I think if I remember correctly, CJ asked us to wrestle because that my parents were always talking about how me and her would always wrestle as kids and stuff. So me and her got in the ring and we're wrestling. And then he was like, wait, let me record this. So we took our stances and then he started recording it. And that was the first ever episode here on LBYW, me versus Just Ice.
What does it mean to you that almost all of your family is involved in the company? It's so unique that so many of you are involved in it. It kind of makes it, in a way, I think, very special what the company has become. How does that make you feel?
It feels good because like we'd started out as only family. It was only family members, and then later on we slowly expanded to friends like Nate Dogg and the Wilster and Psychotic Freak and
Napalm later on, Refakito. I mean, you guys have a nice little group.
Yeah. So like originally when 24/7 was around a lot more often, we would every time before all the babies were born and took a lot of time and all that. When we would do family vacations, we'd bring the belt with us and we'd just wrestle wherever. This is a bit of a random, but one time we were in South Dakota for a family vacation and we were in this hotel and we actually did a 24/7 match at the pool. And there was other people in the pool, complete strangers. We have no idea who these people are. We didn't say anything to any of them. We just got right into it. We started wrestling. I was up there recording. And after the match was over, one of the families I was in the pool was like, "Oh, do you guys wrestle?" And yeah, that was really cool because they were like, "That was so cool" and all that stuff, and you can hear them cheering in the background and all that. Yeah, but it's definitely like it was cool. It's a cool experience having the whole family in this because all of us got into it, so it wasn't just a one man journey.
I've asked this question to different people that have come on the show, like your dad, certainly CJ when he came on the first time, Napalm a few weeks ago, the Wilster when he was on here. But how does it make you feel that you guys have as many subscribers on YouTube as you do? It's really, in a way, kind of a true family story and an American small business success story that you guys started this company during a worldwide pandemic, family based, and you guys have more subscribers than a lot of wrestling companies that come on here that get ballyhooed on Sportswire Radio. There's a lot of companies that come on to Sportswire and, they get talked about in a lot of ways. And, we love everybody. All wrestling matters on Sportswire. But you guys actually have more YouTube subscribers than many companies that come onto the platform. And again, this is not a knock on any of every single promotion that comes on here. I cannot stress that enough. And it's always about all wrestling matters. But, how does it feel for you knowing that you guys have as many subscribers as you do? What does that make you feel?
Oh, that was crazy. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, that like it was insane, honestly, because like it's hard to get that many subscribers.
Trust me. I mean, I'm at 600 plus, although I really haven't promoted YouTube only since about 10 months ago. And, I'll get there, but, it's not easy. Not everybody gets to what you guys have. You guys are almost at 1,400. That's really cool.
Yeah, I feel like the pandemic definitely boosted it because obviously a lot of people were trapped at home and wanted some type of entertainment, but we really blew up. I believe it was after our first match with BYW Nexus
Yep.
is when we really blew up because we went from like 600 subscribers, 500, 600 to 1,000, like boom. And it was like, holy crap, this is just crazy. And it's like, yeah, it was crazy. And I can't remember when, but during one of the matches, like, because I was talking to CJ about it when we hit 1,000, I was like, we got to do 1,000 subscriber special or something like that. And we didn't end up doing 1,000 subscriber special, but when we hit it, I kept telling him like we need to do something to thank it. So at the end of one of those episodes, I got everybody involved to get up on the trampoline, and I basically forced them to thank the subscribers.
Yeah, it's funny. We had Ace Reed, who's also a part of the Nexus, and he does the Wired Up podcast, and he interviewed CJ, and he's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and he's talking about doing something for 1,000 subscribers. And everybody always thinks, well, what should I do? I mean, I know when I got to 500 a couple of months ago, that was a big deal. Now I'm already past that, and you can already see the light at the end of the tunnel. But it's always cool, and you guys have these footages out there of thousands and thousands of views, and how does that make you feel? You guys have content on the channel that have thousands of views, whether it's matches, whether it's belts, whether it's reactions. How does that make you feel?
That's also crazy because another thing that's difficult is you could have 1,000 subscribers, but that doesn't mean all 1,000 of those people are involved.
No,
people subscribe to channels all the time and never watch them again.
Absolutely. If
So
people
it's
go
like,
on and watch an interview and then they hit the sub button or they watch a match and you never hear from them again. Sure.
yeah, so it's like to know that most of those people are coming back to watch our videos and enjoy them and stuff is cool. And then obviously some of those are people that watched us but didn't subscribe and maybe continually watch us without subscribing and all that. So it's really cool that we've made it as far as we did.
Well, I think it takes a lot, and I want to congratulate the locker room, for that moment. And when you hit 1,000 and have surpassed it, and I think that it shows that you guys are a true small business success story, an American dream, a family or parts of members of a family, I should phrase it that way, in North Dakota, start this company during a worldwide pandemic. And, here we are, and we're talking about legendary backyard wrestling, and I'm in New York. And Chris, your dad, or Mr. Aruda, says we'd love to be involved with more companies like we are with the Nexus. Yeah, I mean, I think we'd love to see companies work with you guys. I think it's a matter of location. It's a matter of time. And, I would love to see that as well. I mean, I think that would be great, for you guys to work with more talent. I think, why not? I think that's what it's all about,
With I don't know if CJ's talked about this when he was doing his interview, but he's actually tried to get a few people from other companies to come down and join us, but schedules conflicting or just not wanting to deal with the weather and whatnot. We tried to do, oh yeah, for sure. We try to do it when it's nice out, but every now and then, like the Buried Alive match, we do it when there's ice and snow on the ground.
Well, you guys, yeah, I mean, you had even the match with CJ and Napalm. You're outside and it's cold. I mean, in North Dakota, realistically, your weather is only nice for what, 3.5 months? You can only say reliably the entire year. What, June is good, right? July, August, and I guess part of September. Then after that, like the second half of September, it's like, okay, it could be cold at any given moment. It could be snowing at any given moment. So really, you guys don't get out of the wood until what, the middle of May, right? That's where, like, okay, now the weather's nice again, right? Like, is it like May, something like that, middle of May?
Yeah, about the weather here is so there's yeah, you really can't know. Like 2 winters ago and the winter before that wasn't a winter. Like it didn't snow at all. It snowed like once or twice. And then April hit and we had the biggest blizzard we've had in like 40 years. And it's
my God.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me, I'm a baseball fan and I'm a Mets fan in New York, and the Mets play the Colorado Rockies, and maybe it was last year or the year before, and the Mets played them in like maybe the first week of May, and it was a blizzard in Colorado. So you don't know and where you guys are in the country. And here we put away our winter coats probably, I'd say, after April 15th. There's an exception for a day or two here and there. It becomes very rainy and you bring it back on. But I go into my shorts and t-shirt really like toward the end of April, But you guys, you can't really plan it that way. So I could see that. But I would hope that other wrestlers and other companies would want to work with you guys, because we've had a fantastic relationship, I think, for about 9 or 10 months. And I love having you guys come on from time to time. Chris has come on. Napalm's come on. The Welsters come on. CJ certainly come on. The Psychotic Freak is coming on as well. So, anybody that I would recommend to work with LBYW, I would do it in a heartbeat. So we love to see that. But, I wanted to ask you, obviously, in the interest of time, I know that the pets are in the background, but what are your goals in 2024?
Really just like what I said earlier, just put my footprint in this company, show I'm here, really. Just show why I'm here. I'm not just someone to be stepped on. I can hold my ground.
What does it mean to you to be the United States champion on behalf of Legendary Backyard Wrestling?
It means a lot, because obviously I went on a quite frankly, very sad losing streak.
You had that like Heath Slater losing streak for all that. Remember when Heath Slater years ago took him years to win a match again? You had that kind of run.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but eventually Chris gave me the opportunity to get back up there and show that I was treated as a joke, but I'm not a joke anymore, and I will continue to hold my ground.
Well, we'll certainly find out. And I also wanted to ask you, before I get to some comments from management and your mom, you do some hosting in your own right. I've seen you do Super Bowl predictions. I've seen you do some backstage hosting with the award show. So how have you liked that experience?
It's cool, and I like it because when we started backstage, it was actually, well, obviously it was my idea to do it, because with the Legendary Backyard Wrestling, we really didn't have too much. Like, we used to just post some clips of just like backstage stuff in backyard wrestling, but I was like, well, because this was around when we hit 1,000, I believe. I was like, well, we're big enough and we have enough subscribers and viewers, so why don't we start a second channel where we can have all of the wrestlers on our roster and anybody else in the family that wants to, and just record whatever they want, post whatever they want, and just update the viewers, whoever may be their fans. Like, Napalm joined after this, so I don't really think he's posted anything on there. But Jaira, when we first started it, he recorded a video of him at work, I believe, and he just did that. It was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping when I opened up the channel and threw out the idea to them. Is just, doesn't, if it's an everyday mundane thing, you could be at work, you could just be hanging out, like, just give your viewers some updates. Be like,
I do it all the time. Listen, when I announce people to come on, sometimes I take a video. If I take it, most of the time it's in my backyard. And if it was like Thursday where it was so windy here in New York, I actually had to take it in my basement. But I actually did want to play a little clip of you actually doing some backstage interviewing, kind of with the Super Bowl prediction. So let's pull it up.
Guys, Chase here with LBYW Backstage, also known as Ragnarok, your U.S. champion. So we are going to go around and ask everybody for their Super Bowl predictions like we do every other year. And we'll see how this goes. It'll be an interesting argument between the group here on who's going to win. So we'll send it off to them.
Hey guys, it's your LBYW.
We know who he's going
here.
for.
You know, first off, I gotta say, Brock Purdy is not a game manager. He makes shit happen. You know, last week down in Green Bay, final drive, boom, 4 for 6 on that drive, and they punched it in for the win. Yesterday, down 17, third largest margin in NFC Championship game history. Came back and made it happen. He's not a game manager. He makes it happen. He wins games. So I'm going for my 49ers, the exact revenge from 4 years ago when they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs this year. So, you know, 49ers over KC. And then just, that's it. 49ers got it this year, baby.
I'll be back in 1 sec. My dog has something.
Hey guys, Queen Just Ice here with my Super Bowl prediction. I obviously got to go with my team, the 49ers. I think we're going to win because, in my opinion, we're all around just a better team. And we have to get our redemption from the last Super Bowl we had versus the Chiefs. And if we keep our head in the game, then we have a lot of star players, and I just think we're going to take the win in the end. So go Niners.
What's up, guys? It's Nathan here from LBYW, and I am here with my 2024 Super Bowl prediction. We got the Kansas City Chiefs versus San Francisco 49ers, and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be the ones that are going to be taking back that fucking championship on home.
Sorry about that.
As they are the reigning, defending Super Bowl team. So I believe the Swifties are going to do this shit because fuck the Niners. But, guys, I'll see y'all in March.
All right,
A wise man named Ric Flair once said, "To be the man, woo,
Sorry, my
beat the
sister's
man." So the Wilster Super Bowl prediction is the Kansas City Chiefs 31, the San Francisco 49ers 17. Book it. And Travis and Taylor are getting married at the 50-yard line.
Oh, God. Well, I heard that. We'll certainly see. Maybe we'll stick with it. If I'll stick with it.
All right, how's it going, guys? This is Nate Dogg, one half of the tag team champion for PBS, and you know it's the Super Bowl is going to happen in a couple weeks. So, and my prediction to win it's the Niners. It's because I just don't want the Chiefs to win. They honestly rigged the Ravens game. So, well, my prediction is the 49ers.
They have me back for this stupid Super Bowl prediction bullcrap. They had me do it the first year, but I managed to escape last year. I don't understand this trivial crap. the Super Bowl and football in general is overrated. I don't care for this. I don't even know who's in the Super Bowl this year, so I don't know why they're having me film this for them. So you can have fun with your little arguments about who's going to win or not, but I could care less. So get that damn camera out of my face.
Hey guys,
Oh, I
this is
think I
Jenny.
know this.
I am going for the 49ers to win the Super Bowl because fuck the Chiefs
Oh.
and
I bet that took
any
her a
other
lot
team
to
I wanted
swallow
to
to
get
say
in didn't
that.
get in, so that's my only option.
Hey guys, CJ the Alpha Junk here, and my prediction for the Super Bowl, I ain't going for the fucking Niners. I'm going Chiefs all the way. They're gonna take it this year and mark it in the books. That's your winner, Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh boy.
Hello, it's Ahito, and this time I'm gonna give you my Super Bowl prediction. You know, last year I lost, but this time I'm doing my best. So this year I'm going for the 49ers, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna win by 27-14 like that. And I'm against the Chiefs anytime. I'm against the Chiefs. I don't want them to win anymore at all. So
I'm not a Taylor.
49ers,
Made that clear
help me
on
out.
the Sportswire show.
Thank you. I'll see you guys. And this year also you're gonna have a lot of content this year. And make sure you get ready.
Sounds good.
Hello, folks. This is Jero from LBYW, and I'm doing a prediction for the NFL
Can I take it
Super
off the
Bowl
screen
this
now?
coming February.
Huh?
With
You want me to
the
keep playing
Chiefs
it or
versus the
screen?
49ers.
Doesn't
My
matter to me.
prediction would be
We'll play one more.
I'm going with 49ers, 27-34. So beat them, Kansas. See you.
Hi, I'm Desi, and this year for the Super Bowl, my prediction to win is the 49ers because it's their rematch this year, so I really want them to win, and I don't want to see Justice cry again.
While wearing a Cowboys
Hi,
jacket.
my name is Chris.
Oh.
I am Chris, known as the Psychotic
My
Freak.
guest on 3
I
weeks.
am picking the Kansas City Chiefs in this year's Super Bowl. There's no way the Niners are beating the Kansas City Chiefs. They are playing other than mine right now. Patrick Mahomes will be winning the MVP for this year's Super Bowl.
He's actually pretty concise.
Pinball Aiden here. And my
my last
Super Bowl
one we'll go with.
predictions
We'll move on.
are probably going to be the Chiefs, simply because of Patrick Mahomes. He's been one of the best quarterbacks, at least recently, for sure. So that's my prediction.
Okay, we
I'm destined to win the Super Bowl ticket. I like cheers to win the Super Bowl.
Well, we'll have to find out, right? But we'll certainly not enough to the point. And before I move on, I want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. ADT, who's in our Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And I want to tell Mr. ADT that a gift came, actually, that a company he works for actually gave me. And I'm going to open that on the air tomorrow night because we're close to wrapping up here soon with Mr. Ragnarok. But I'm going to do that, ADT, when Anthony Steele is live on Sportswire Radio. I'm going to open up something you gave me in the mail. So stay tuned for that. That'll be 10 o'clock Eastern time. So stay for the ceremony and watch me open up something live. But also, yes, we're doing great. Listen, ADT is one of my favorites, by the way. That could be a company you guys work with one day. Alabama, North Dakota. I'm not quite sure the distance, but maybe AWL and LBYW could work together. That would be something pretty cool. But Ethan, the Super Bowl happened already. Just want to let you know, Ethan, the Super Bowl happened about 6 weeks ago. I want to let you know. I'm not going to spoil it, though, for you on who won, but the Super Bowl happened already. So that you can certainly see. But if you do want to follow LBYW, that's how you can follow them. That's their links. Check them out. So make sure you support. We'll come back and we'll plug the YouTube before closing thoughts. But so you like doing hosting? Would you like to do you like doing more? Does it help you in your career being a host?
I'd say so. It's definitely helped me get over my anxieties a little bit. Because if you watch me talking to the camera when we first started, you wouldn't think it, but we had to do a lot of reshoots just to get me to say the right thing. And
It's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah, now I can talk to the camera once and be good. Every now and then I still mess up and we have to restart. But
well, you know what? One day you can take over for me on Sportswire Radio. So listen, when I get canceled for saying something stupid, we can make you the owner and promoter of Sportswire Radio. That way we'll certainly gain more subscribers. So you're on your way for that. But let me get to some more comments before we move on to a few final things. We keep out our hoodies all year long. Well, I didn't know that. So even in August, you have hoodies.
Oh yeah, I wear my jacket all the time.
Wow. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to complain about New York ever again. New York weather, I'm never going to complain about it again, which I've been telling myself that because the last week here has actually been kind of winter-like where we had except for we had a couple of snowstorms. It wasn't like crazy, but like other than that, like compared to you guys, I can never complain again.
Well, it's not during the summer. It's not cold at all. It's actually pretty. It's pretty horrible during the summer because the humidity. Oh, I know it's worse in other states, but the humidity coming from Las Vegas where it's dry heat to this state where it's humid. No.
New York, it gets humid at times. New York, it's rainy and humid. And they say Minnesota, which is not too far from you guys, is like that as well. So 2,000 subs. Well, I mean, I got almost 1,400, but it doesn't matter. 2,000, 3,000. You guys will get there anyway. It doesn't make a difference to me. And I'm with Napalm, the American Badass. Yeah, this was fun to watch. I wanted to do a watch along because we watched Napalm's match. I wanted to watch you doing some hosting. And quick question, I think you kind of answered it, but who's the toughest competitor you faced in your career?
That is a good question. I'm actually not too sure about that one because a lot of my competitors are very challenging sometimes. So,
okay. Well, you know what? You could be your next match yet could be your toughest. Could be your toughest competitor. Could be Gyro or Napalm. Who knows?
Yeah.
The Alpha put her up to say that.
Oh, for sure.
I want to say God, jump in.
Sorry, he also put Destiny in that hoodie. I'm gonna just say that.
Well, I think we can all say for certainty they're both going to be Cowboy fans. Pretty much, yeah. I want to say you gotta jump in.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep doing that. I'm not a football guy at all. I don't really like football, but she used to be a Niners fan, and then she switched when her and Shaylin got together.
Oh, okay. Well, I was rooting for the 49ers. If it makes those in the family feel better, I was rooting for the 49ers. I did not want to see Taylor Swift at the podium, and unfortunately, the game felt kind of rigged. But as my running joke was, Taylor Swift, everybody was talking about, but after the big game, we had James Taylor instead. We inducted him into the Hall of Fame, but want to say hello to my friend on Twitch, Yucker Torque. Yo, my favorite guys. How you doing there, my friend? Good to see you. And if you're also following us on Twitch, check out Legendary Backyard Wrestling on YouTube. Hit that sub button for them. That's their YouTube channel. Their most recent packages are up here. Their most recent show from Throwdown episode 8, kind of the unofficial kickoff to the season. It is at 277 views. You can also check out the pay-per-view schedule here. All the great ahead. You can see that here. We'll play it up on the screen so people can see that. So make sure you check them out. Also, hit that sub button for us here on Sportswire Radio, $65.79. So that's Sportswire Radio, $65.79. Hit that sub button for us. So we're going to have Legendary Backyard Wrestling coverage coming up here April 15th live with the Psychotic Freak. Management, I think that CJ says 1,000% did not. We'll certainly leave that at that. Alpha, don't make me come out of retirement and make you lose your company. Lose your company again. Alpha is a Browns fan this year. That division's going to be very tough. Yeah, not a Cowboys fan. And neither am I really, but I'm going to let that pass because we love CJ the Alpha Jet. We thank, obviously, the company for letting us do what we've been able to do to work with you guys here. We're kicking off the season basically pretty much with legendary backyard wrestling coverage. So I want to ask you before we get to closing thoughts, and I obviously know you got the dog, you got the cats to go spend time with, and I don't want to keep you from them much longer, but is there anything else you'd like to share about your career, this journey, or anything ahead that we should know about for our audience tonight that's hearing you for the first time, Ragnarok?
Well, I pretty much said everything about that I could. I mean, this journey that we started as a family, it's been amazing these past few years. When we started out this channel, I was not in the best high school, and
I'm sorry.
That's why I have such high anxiety. So when my high school found out about it, I was panicked pretty much. But I just let it go. I didn't think about it. Then I eventually graduated, and yeah, it's one of the best decisions I've made to join this because I enjoy doing it. It's really fun doing it. And
well, I'm glad.
I enjoy that the whole family's a part of it. It gives us something else to do because we've always been a close-knit family, do everything together.
Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have family, you don't have anything. And this is a true family in every shape or form. This is a true American small business success story, legendary backyard wrestling. Something tells me here, ladies and gentlemen, one of these days, I would say in the summer, that this company as a whole probably going to go to the Sportzwire Radio Hall of Fame. So you might want to keep that calendar open some point in this summer, because I think that the next stop, kind of like in baseball, they have the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Football, it's in Canton, Ohio. Basketball, Springfield, Massachusetts. Something tells me that legendary backyard wrestling's next stop is going to be where all wrestling matters, in the Sportzwire Radio Hall of Fame. And that's why you can follow them on all of those fantastic channels there. Yes, thank you, Ragnarok, for all that you do. Thank you for all that you do for this company. Thank you for all that you do in being the U.S. champion. We are certainly going to see what happens between Napalm and Gyro. And Des, you got a friend in me, and you definitely got a friend in me. And I want to say that if anybody was giving you problems, to hell with them, because now you got thousands of fans, you got thousands of subscribers. So if you had those issues back in high school, I would certainly say that maybe you weren't voted most likely to succeed, but you were the most to succeed in high school, because look at that YouTube channel you're a part of. Look at all those views you've got. Look at all those fans you got around the world. So it seems like Ragnarok, it all works out for a reason. And you guys have definitely done a great job. Yep. And we definitely agree. And great interview. I appreciate that. Thank you for LBYW giving me the kind words and giving me the opportunity to speak with you guys. I look forward to inducting the company as a whole into the Hall of Fame sometime in the summer. But I know you're a busy man, Ragnarok. You're getting ready maybe for some matches ahead. You're getting ready for certainly some stuff with the company for backstage hosting and whatever else in between, and a bag of chips, and maybe getting ready for a blizzard or two. But I want to give you the floor, my friend. I want to give you some closing thoughts. And I got one more bonus question for you. Do you remember playing Nirvana Heart-Shaped Box on guitar? Because that is out there on your Instagram, by the way.
Yeah.
Remember that at all?
Yeah. So I've been playing guitar since 6th grade, and my uncle, he bought me that guitar that I played the song on, and he made one request, and he was like, make a video of you recording a song for me on this guitar. And I was like, okay, what? You got a specific song? And he said Heart-Shaped Box by Nirvana. So that's what I did. Nice. And I do plan on uploading more to my Instagram. I've been practicing my guitar a lot. So
good. Before I get to closing thoughts, anything on guitar that we could hear from you? Anything you like to play before I give you the floor and say goodbye for tonight?
I'd have to go grab my guitar out of my room quick.
No, don't worry about it. It's okay. We'll give you closing thoughts. Maybe next time we'll see you on when we induct the company into the Hall of Fame. So I want to give you the floor. Anything else you'd like to plug, share, or say?
Two things actually.
Sure.
I didn't mean to leave the non-family members out of that too, because all of the friends that joined us, such as the one here with us today and Napalm, you guys basically became a second family. And like, yeah, it was great to add you guys with us and have you be a part of this company with us, because we wouldn't be as far without them. And as much as we like to trash talk the Wilster, he's a great member of the team.
That was a good one. Yes, and the Wilster, I'm sure he'll hear that. He will definitely hear that. And we love everybody in the company. Refajito, certainly Gyro, Napalm, who's been with us before. Obviously, Psychotic Freak, who's going to be here in 3 weeks from now. Pinball Aiden. I mean, so many people from this great company that has truly been a small business American dream / success story. That's where you can follow LBYW and all their platforms. Golden Ticket is going to be coming out in the month of April. We're going to see who eventually Ragnarok faces for his U.S. championship. And thank you so much for the kind words from Ethan and your dad. I know your dad will be back here later when the company gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. But congratulations on all of your success. I'm looking forward to seeing you back in the ring here next month, and keep up the good work on the microphone, doing the interview skills. You can certainly take over my shoes anytime on Sportswire Radio. We'll do a better job, I'm sure, with you at the helm rather than me. But keep up the good work. Always remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. And I look forward to watching you back in the ring next month against whoever it might be.
Thank you. Thanks for the nice words. I actually had one more thing to add to that.
Sure.
So earlier on your Facebook post, I saw you making a comment about someone in the ring knowing martial arts, with Aiden doing his kick there. And It's funny that you say that, because he actually did take martial arts. He specifically did. I asked him earlier what specific one he did, and he actually said Taekwondo.
Oh, wow.
If he wanted to focus there. It doesn't look like the was going to pick it up, but yeah.
I believe you. No. I thank you for that. You know, that's actually clever. I appreciate that you actually took the time when I said that when I was watching the match with Napalm, and I had mentioned that. That's actually, I appreciate that you actually did that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I want to say to Pinball Aiden, he and anybody in the locker room is welcome anytime to come to Sportswire. We love working with you guys. We've always had a great relationship with you guys. CJ's been great with us, and you know, I can't say enough good things about you guys. So yeah, I mean, you know, I want to say thank you for that. That's actually very, very nice of you to do that. And yeah, I'm glad that Aiden confirmed that, because I did ask that question and I was wondering. I was wondering. So there you go. That's your investigative journalism skills at hand. That's why you're a backstage interviewer now. That's why you're a host. That's why I told you those investigative journalism skills you're putting to work. But you can follow certainly Mr. Ragnarok and his host skills on those platforms below. And Mr. Aruda says, I'm doing good at what I do. Thank you for that. I don't know, but certainly check is in the mail. But ladies and gentlemen, please support Legendary Backyard Wrestling, as I say, in all their platforms below. You can also check them out, especially coming up here next month for the Golden Ticket, their first official live show of the year, and also their new cameraman was in MMA. Oh, I didn't know that. There you go. So it shows you that I didn't even know that, and that shows you why LBYW is the place to be, and that's why you need to be following them on all their platforms, especially YouTube, where you can watch Golden Ticket. You want to say something? Good. Absolutely. Floor is yours.
That clip I sent you earlier of the guy with all the mud on his boots,
yes,
that's actually the new camera guy.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what?
CJ's talking about there.
Well, you guys definitely had a lot of mud to deal with, and I'm not going to complain when my boots get all tangled up in the rain and everything else, because you guys had to put up a trampoline in mud. So that certainly shows you guys that, you know, you have your own things to contend with, but that's why we want to support LBYW in every way, shape, or form. And I can't wait to see what happens between Gyro and Napalm. I can't wait to see Ragnarok back in the ring. And I'm certainly treading very lightly for April 15th when the Psychotic Freak makes his debut on Sportswire Radio, the same time that you were here with us. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're on Sportswire Radio, you're going back to your regularly scheduled programming. And tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern time, be there or be square, as Anthony Steele becomes the 57th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. He takes his place in history. And the last time Anthony Steele was here, he said pretty much anything he wanted to. So who knows what he's going to do tomorrow, but stay for the festivities. Join us starting at 10 o'clock Eastern time. But my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters. We want to thank Ragnarok, the U.S. champion and guest backstage host, for legendary backyard wrestling. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all sports matters and all wrestling matters. I'll see everybody tomorrow.